Number 1. Sir GaryTube late at night. Sir GaryTube decided to play some Pokemon. While playing Pokemon, he didn't realize that his door was closing by itself in his bedroom. Once he heard the door shut, he turned around and was incredibly confused. He asked the viewers if they saw a door close. He then gets up and goes to check on the door to see if anyone else was actually home at the time. When he's roaming around home on his stream, you can see that the door closes by itself again with no one around. Once he comes back, he decides to just keep the door shut while he continued streaming again. Since obviously there are some powers that be that want to have it shut, and how is he gonna actually fight against that, ultimately deciding that it's best to just let things be as they are. Keeping the door shut was probably the best option so as not to have any scary movie type scenarios happen to you. Number 2. Manga MYN is a YouTuber that makes videos about manga and TV shows. While recording a video, Manga MYN was interrupted by something that he saw through his camera. A sphere that kind of looked like a rain droplet had fallen onto the camera lens and appeared there a second later, though it seems to have actually disappeared. Causing some obvious confusion, Manga MYN asked if anyone saw that and was spooked out by it. He then thinks that he could have had a technical error with the camera. But he says that the object that appeared on camera was actually very scary to him. He says that he does believe that it was an error, but he could not ignore it and decides that the best thing he could do is just move on instead of dwelling on some of the more supernatural explanations.
He never had that problem. Got beat up once or twice, but other than that, he never. Yo, what the hell was that? Yo, what the fuck was that?
Number 3. TV was just setting up his stream. He was preparing to be spooked out by playing some Five Nights at Freddy's Joy of Creation. He already knew that he was in for a good scare from the game, but he didn't expect getting an actual scare from a ghost. Throughout the beginning of the stream, Sihua has been looking down at his feet often. He then says that he can see his shoes on the floor, but they seem to be moving in a jerking motion. He just keeps playing his game, ignoring his shoe. He would often see his screen flicker, but he thought that it was just part of the game, something to add atmosphere to the spooky environment. Then suddenly, his stream went down and the game's tied to the crash. His monitor turned black and nothing could be seen. He continues recording himself in the dark while being incredibly confused about what had just happened. He decides to just tonight and stop trying to scream after being freaked out by everything else going on in the house, not just the game.
The fuck? The lights just went out and my stream stopped. Okay. Nope.
Number 4. Ripped Robbie was trying to start his stream on YouTube. He and his friends were talking to each other through a call. You can see Ripped Robbie constantly looking side to side and behind him while his friend talks away. Robbie then says that he swears that his house is haunted because he's been feeling very uneasy. Lately, he tells the audience that they should have heard an unknown noise in the background through the stream, but nothing could be heard. After a few moments with Robbie saying that you can hear a loud thump in the background, Robbie responded to the thump by saying, "Dude, you need to stop," and repeated stop over and over again. His friend jokingly suggests to check out the closet and see if he might die on stream. Then Robbie sees that his dog has come running and hides in his room. Robbie tries to tell his friend about it, but Skype keeps disconnecting with all of this mysterious activity. He seems unable to connect with his Xbox again. Robbie is so shaken by this that even a simple donation notification starts to freak him out. Before ending his stream, the ghost that apparently was haunting him the whole time decides to knock all of his equipment over, almost having his mic and camera falling off of their racks. This destruction of equipment really isn't that good, and it makes for a very inconsiderate ghost, but at the same time it definitely shows that sometimes there are supernatural things that we just can't explain.
Yeah, I swear to God, my house is haunted. You guys had to have heard that on fucking stream. Dude, stop.
Number 5. Rubsy decided to go and stream at his friend's house for the night. I'm guessing his friend had better internet while Rubsy is talking about someone he knows to the viewers. You can see a closed door behind him start opening up, the door then suddenly slams shut on its own. Rubsy jumps and turns around quickly to see where the noise was coming from. All his headphones fall off. He quickly turns around. Rubsy looks back for a while and slowly turns his face to the camera right. When he turned around, a light switch can be heard turning the light in the hallway on in the back. Rubsy goes to investigate and turns off the light again once. Rubsy goes back to the couch. The light turned back on. He turns around and sees that the light is indeed on again. He goes to turn off the light again, and then when walking back, he sees the door on the other side open before his eyes. He looks down the dark hall, and then the door slams shut once again. He goes back and talks to his friends on the stream, and then a box on the table in the background seems to go flying. He looks down at the dark hall, and the door slams shut again. He goes back and talks to his friends on stream, and then a box on the table in the background starts to fly again. I guess the ghost really doesn't like being ignored. Rubsy points out that the cat in the apartment is hiding and runs away to the corner whenever something spooky happens. In the end, he decided that the best thing to do was leave the home and go back to his own place.
Yeah, that was a tragic story of my my bringing down of my dearest Lydia. Oh, sweet, sweet Lydia. Oh my! The fuck was that?
Number 6. The fam are a couple that explores and goes exploring into abandoned places. They one day go exploring in an abandoned house that they found around town. While looking inside the house, they decide to go room to room, essentially sweeping it. The house itself is structurally damaged and quite worn down. The windows are all broken and many of the blinds are torn off or otherwise broken. When the person with the camera peers out the window, they start to pan out to the scenery. It was dark outside and you can see trees all around if you look closely, though it seems like you can see a couple of red glowing eyes off in the corner. People think that it's fake, but it was all streamed live and everyone was inside. No one was around outside, and the eyes didn't really look like they were animals' eyes, so it's not really easy to say exactly what was happening, but it does seem like there's a chance that something spooky was going on. Some spooky, scary skeletons were sending shivers of their spine. You know that was probably a horrible joke. Just maybe watch this video again on. Number 7. Ashley M is for mommy. People were trying to use their Kinect camera during this stream. They've been having problems trying to get the Kinect to work since it seems to keep shutting off. They were trying to set it up and were changing the features on the Kinect. They tried switching the camera into thermal mode, but every time they kept switching the modes back and forth. It seems that something keeps moving on the corner of the screen. It looks as if something is peeking out the screen every once in a while. They tried to keep Kate with whatever it might be but didn't seem to actually have any luck with it. Maybe they should have tried a Ouija board. Don't you like to play Luigi board? It could have been a camera malfunction. But the figure that peers at them seems a lot like a person leaning over, so yeah, maybe they needed to use a Ouija board. Maybe not a Luigi board though, since that's Nintendo, and I don't know if any type of Microsoft Kinect ghosts would enjoy one of their competitors being brought into the limelight. But maybe that's just another horrible joke that I needn't ever speak ever again. But with all that said, we hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like down below and share it with your friends, as it really does help out the channel. Also, please remember to subscribe and hit the bell notification. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and we will see you in the next one.